Hello and welcome to today's recorded. I am your host, Nikki Lee, and we are continuing our journey of me reading a chapter every week of my book, Rewriting Life's Rules. This week we are on chapter 3, and it's Rewriting Your Beliefs and Rules. So let's talk about how. In my case, I needed to change my environment because I wanted to get away from living for the weekends. I had enough of feeling hungover, stuck, and having negative feelings about myself. Why did you pick up this book? What is not working in your life? And what are the rules that you've blindly followed that got you into your unique mess or circumstance? You've probably realized by now that so many of the beliefs and rules you've been living by weren't created by you. Not really. They were inherited, absorbed, or picked up through life experiences, childhood dynamics, cultural expectations, and even trauma. And for a while they may have protected you, but just because something kept you safe once doesn't mean it's meant to stay with you forever. Some rules you're living by right now may sound like, I have to work myself into the ground to be successful. If I don't make everyone happy, I'll be abandoned. I'm not smart enough to do what I really want. I can't trust people. They always let me down. If I let my guard down, I'll get hurt. These rules operate in the background, shaping your choices and keeping you stuck in patterns you don't even realize you're repeating. So how do we change them? Step 1, identify the rule or belief. The first step in rewriting each rule is becoming aware of it. This part can be uncomfortable because it requires honesty, brutal honesty. Start by paying attention to what triggers you or where you feel stuck. Ask yourself, what do I believe about this situation? What am I afraid might happen if I don't follow this rule? Where did this belief come from? You might uncover something like, I can't rest unless I earned it. Where did that come from? A hardworking parent? A teacher who called you lazy, a culture that glorifies burnout? Once you see the rule clearly, you've already begun to take back your power. Step 2, question its validity. Next, challenge the rules. Seriously, question it like detective poking holes in a bad alibi. Ask yourself, is this belief actually true? Has this always been true? Who benefits when I believe this? What is the rule costing me? For example, if your rule is, I have to be perfect to be loved, think about how many relationships have suffered under the weight of that pressure. Think about the love and connection you've missed out on by trying to perform instead of just being. Step 3, decide what you want to believe instead. This is where it gets powerful. Now that you've spotted the rule and challenged it, it's time to replace it with something that aligns with who you're becoming. But here's the key. Your new belief needs to feel believable to your subconscious. You can't just go from I'm worthless to I'm a goddess made of gold and moonlight. Though that would be nice. You need to build a bridge. Instead of leaping too far, try creating ladder beliefs. They move you step by step toward your desired reality. For example, one belief, old belief, I'm not good enough. Ladder belief, I'm learning to believe I'm enough. Final belief, I am more than enough exactly as I am. Let your subconscious catch up. Speak the new belief out loud, write it down, put it on sticky notes, repeat it every day until it becomes the rule you naturally live by. Step 4, reinforce through aligned action. This is where your new rule becomes real, because belief without action stays a fantasy. If your new belief is, I deserve to be treated with respect, then you'll need to start speaking up, setting boundaries, walking away from disrespect, and surrounding yourself with people who reflect the new truth back to you. Each time you act from this new belief, you reinforce it, you build evidence, and the old rule, it starts to lose its grip. Step 5, expect resistance. Here's the thing. Your old rules won't go down without a fight. They've been part of your inner operating system for years, maybe decades. So when you start choosing differently, your brain might panic, your body might feel anxious, people around you might push back. That's okay. Expect it, normalize it, let it be a sign that you're growing. This discomfort isn't a sign that you're doing it wrong, it's a sign that you're doing something new. Step 6, practice self-compassion. You're going to mess up, you're going to fall back into old patterns sometimes. That doesn't mean you failed, it means you're human. Be gentle with yourself. This is deep, beautiful, transformational work. Every time you notice an old rule creeping back in, treat it like a signal, not a setback. Say to yourself, oh, I see you, but we're not doing this anymore. That's how change happens, not through perfection, through awareness, choice, and compassion. Rewriting your rules isn't about pretending the past didn't happen. It's about choosing to no longer be ruled by it. You get to decide what kind of life you want to live. You get to choose beliefs that empower you instead of limit you. And the most powerful truth of all, you've had the pen in your hand this entire time. So here's what I want you to do. Start writing, start rewriting, start living by the rules you choose. You are the author of your story. Make it one you're proud to live in. Example rule. Let's take all these steps and I'll break down a rule that I had about finishing this book. So step 1. I spent a lot of time procrastinating on finishing this book. I had to ask myself why, and I realized I had imposter syndrome. I didn't believe I was capable of writing anything and kept catching myself thinking, who would want to read this anyway? My belief was that I didn't know enough and wasn't smart enough. My rule became that I needed to know more before I could finish the book. Step 2. I had to ask myself if that was actually true. I reminded myself that I am smart and thought, look at all the things you've already accomplished. I also realized that while I might not be where I want to be yet, this book could still help others who are just a chapter behind me. I also used real-life examples of people who have written books before. I looked back at some authors' first books compared to their most recent books and saw how much they have grown and changed throughout the years. Step 3. So, what was the new rule I put in place in order to help me finish this book? You have enough information that will help someone else. Step 4. Every time I felt the procrastination start to kick in, I had to overcome it. Even if it meant just pulling out the manuscript and only writing one sentence. Just that small amount of action was helping me rewrite that belief. Step 5. I had so much resistance. I was fighting myself a lot and dragging my feet. I was so scared to put this book out there. Step 6. I had to be kind to myself through this whole process. There were days when I would get extremely mad and beat myself up for not finishing it. Near the end of the editing process, I was working over 40 hours a week. The job was physically demanding and I was out in the heat all day. I'd get so upset when I couldn't think or write, even on my days off, and I'd end up sleeping instead. I had to practice compassion and remember that sometimes you truly need rest in order to think clearly. I also made the decision to go part-time so I could focus on this book and my own business. All of those steps worked because you're reading my final copy. Every time you question an old rule, you take your power back, and trust me, you're stronger than any story you've ever outgrown. That was chapter 3, and stay tuned for next week for chapter 4. I hope you enjoyed this, and I cannot wait to see you then. I love you. Goodbye.